Hello, this is Natsuya SPILLS and Gothic Androgyn, and today we're going to talk about mental health and you look like crap. So, a lot can be said about people's perceptions and what you're supposed to wear, how you're supposed to dress, what you're supposed to look like. Did you wash your hair? Are you wearing clean clothes? Did you do your laundry yesterday? Did you pick up dishes in your house? All those kind of things, if as someone who just got out of the hospital and has been in a day program for a week, I had to go to the store to pick up a prescription, and, I guess I had on, some black jeans and a black t-shirt, and I think I had, combed my hair hours ago because I didn't sleep that night, and I just didn't care. I just needed to go get a prescription so that I could be compliant with my medication, which is a requirement for the day program, which I talked about in my last video, or 2 videos ago. So, yeah, and you get a lot of stuff like, oh, well, your shoes are scuffed. Well, okay, they're just shoes, who cares? Or your shirt's wrinkled. Well, like, when you're having an anxiety attack or you just came off being in the hospital, and you're trying to make sure that you can go about and do basic things like eat and sleep. Those are like basic survival mechanisms. Things like the laundry is piled up, or you need to wash the dishes, Of course, I only have like one dish in the sink at the moment, so that's nothing. But, when you're in survival mode, well, I'm out of survival mode. Right now, I'm in day program mode. But it's still a transitionary state between, I don't know, full functioning human and somebody who just got out of the hospital and, had, I guess, what you would call a bipolar episode from not sleeping for 3 weeks and not eating for 2. That is probably going to send somebody off the deep end. Yeah. Now, I know that a lot of people are like, you got to look the part. Well, sometimes when you're dealing with mental health, that's the farthest thing from your mind. You're just trying to understand, can I actually physically get out of the house, out of the apartment, to the store to pick up the prescription? Do I actually have enough energy to do that? And if you do, I'm really not worried about spending 20, 30 minutes to do my hair to make sure I can do that. I'm just trying to make sure that I can actually find the car keys in an ADHD swirl, or even understand where in the day, as an autistic person without a set routine that works at the moment, and that's half the reason why we're going to day program, to worry about making sure my shirt isn't wrinkled and I'm wearing 2 socks that are the same color. At this point, if I can get to the drugstore to get the prescription, that's batting 1,000. So now, I understand that sounds a little odd because, presentation and how you look is at least 80% of how you are perceived. But again, I want to speak truth here, and I want to make sure that I am always transparent, because that's important, especially when you're talking about mental health. So I do understand that, if you're just anybody, or especially if you're somebody that's going to be seen, and you need to, make sure that you are seen in a way that is conducive to how you present, so I present androgynous, so I need to be androgynous. I wear a lot of black, so if all of a sudden I were to show up, I actually did that once. Actually, it was recently, I think a couple months ago. I wore all white to a store, and it was odd how I was perceived that day. I think actually someone thought that I was a famous musician or rock star when I was wearing white jeans, white Adidas. I was wearing a white Adidas jacket and a white shirt and a white hat. And yeah, I think all the people that I talked to that day actually thought I was a rock star. I guess I was put together really well that day. But I do understand that appearance is like 99% of how you are perceived. But I do also understand that mental health is a thing that people are fighting with every single day, and it is a challenge. And when you're having a panic attack, you are really not thinking about how your lipstick matches with your nail polish. And you're really not thinking, should I wear the red pumps today or the, slingback shoes? Actually, I don't have a pair of red pumps. I know Ian in my story, the prophet trans channeler, trans girl, she does have a pair of red pumps. I read a whole story about it because they're very important to her. And they are part of her appearance. And how when she is full-time. But yeah, I just wanted to come in here and just bring that up for a minute, because when you're in the full tempest of mental health, you're having an anxiety attack, or even if you're depressed. Now, I'm not depressed at the moment, which is good. But, I'm tired and I'm a little exhausted, and, the meds are different from the hospital, so we're going to, change that and go back to what we know. But based on what direction I was given from my doctors. And I've got this whole new day program, which for an autistic person is something that's completely new without a routine. So that's also something that's very stressful. So I'm just wanting to mention that a lot of times mental health is a silent illness that people can't see. And I want to congratulate every depressed person and everybody who has a mental health challenge today, who got up and actually brushed their teeth and went outside and went to the store, or they went and got their meds, or they picked up the phone and called someone because they were sad and wanted to connect, or they called a crisis hotline, or their doctor, or their mom or their boyfriend. Or they took that moment, and took a breath before they answered their child's question because they were freaking out and didn't want the child to see. Let's just make sure that we understand appearance isn't everything. Sometimes it's merely survival, and every day is a good day when you have mental health.